Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar's comment the day before yesterday has begun to make waves and create controversy, raising eyebrows among legal fraternity. But it is not unexpected, because never before have we heard these kinds of words from top constitutional authority like Vice President. But then it is not of his making alone. We have also to appreciate that if not he, who would have done this to rein in a rampaging Supreme Court, who, if you remember, hearing the petition by Tamil Nadu government over the governor of that state sitting over many bills for his assent. To my mind, Supreme Court should have heard the petition and restricted its order to the extent of sending an advisory to the governor that he should expedite. That should have been enough. But it exceeded the brief and not only castigated the governor in a very, you can say, very harsh tone, restricting a deadline for him of 3 months to give the assent. But then the governor is not just the governor of the state, he is representative of the president, you can say extension of the president. So when the Supreme Court makes any kind of judgment and observation about governor, it is actually also order and advisory for the president. So when the Supreme Court categorically set a deadline for the governor, it actually sent an order to the president, and this is why it simply snowballed into a kind of full-scale war of words between legislature and executive. I mean, it is one did not have to be legal to understand that Supreme Court has gone too far to ensure the passage of the bill expeditiously under no circumstances, including the Article 142 of the Constitution, which gives unbridled power to the Supreme Court. Can the Supreme Court go so far as to order the president under this article? I don't understand this logic, and therefore I think the Vice President has done well to openly criticize and just give a sense to this development. It outweighs its own, and it is in contravention, it is hypocritical also of the Supreme Court if it is so bothered about the legislature's inability to give assent to a bill. Why is this not equally concerned about Justice Verma's conduct, which has raised the hue and cry across the country to the extent of getting the lawyers to open and demonstration on the road? The reasons are Justice Verma is a sitting judge of the Delhi High Court. He has been given official house, and his official house unaccounted cash were found to be burnt. The evidences of which have already been uploaded on the Supreme Court website, and still far from making any kind of meeting any punishment to him. He has just been transferred from Delhi to Allahabad, which has simply not been accepted by anyone. If there is an offense, either there is an offense or there is no offense. If there is an offense, you cannot react like an ostrich. And if there is no offense, you simply follow the process of the law and get an FIR lodged. This is the minimum a judge should have been able to accept. But Supreme Court has accommodated too much, and on the other hand, it is teaching the president a lesson on how to do, what to do. This two opposing contradictory stance of the Supreme Court, which is already in public domain, should have been and must be taken to the task, because you are not above the law. Not even Supreme Court is above the law. And this is what should have been done, and this is what the Vice President has done. Of course, it was bound to create a ripple, and it is creating ripple, and it is good, because such observations are not off the cuff. Such observations are not out of the order. Such observations are necessary. Supreme Court should be guarded. Supreme Court should be scrupulous, and so should the President and the legislature. Look at the imperiousness of the Supreme Court while hearing Waqf law and the petitions against it. Supreme Court was ready to put a stay on the Waqf law. Can you imagine that Supreme Court can stay a law passed by the Parliament? And therefore, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta was put his foot down in the Supreme Court while arguing for the central government, and almost castigated the Supreme Court, daring them to do it. He said it. How can you stay a law which is passed the Parliament? You cannot do it. You don't have the power to do that. You can only say that this law is unconstitutional or this part of the law is constitutional if this procedure is flawed, and then that's it. And that has also all to be on the basis of the violation of the basic structure of the Constitution, which it has definitely not done. And also, it is not in the ninth schedule of the Constitution. So Supreme Court had no role so far as the ability of the Parliament to pass a law is concerned. Therefore, Vice President has not only done right, but should do it again and again, because we are witnessing different kind of judiciary which is usurping the powers of other parts, other branches of the governance, which it should never do it. More so when its own house is not in order. Have you ever declared your own assets in public domain? Even though it was initiated long ago, why have the Supreme Court judges not declared their assets in public? Why has the Supreme Court accommodated Justice Verma to the extent that it is simply dacoity? This man, despite being transferred to Allahabad, has refused to vacate his official bungalow in Delhi. If he has already been allocated official bungalow in Allahabad, how can he justify not vacating his official bungalow in Delhi? And in what capacity? You are nobody in Delhi. Once you have been transferred to Allahabad, Delhi is nothing for you. Delhi is not for you. You are out of bounds. And still you are refusing to vacate the house. So, in a sense, you are basically provoking the union government to throw you out, and which it should. I call upon the central government to get this man thrown out of the bungalow and allot to somebody else. And if he does not, then get an FIR instituted against him.